Hello and welcome to another video. I know it's been a while since I posted and lots been going on. So I decided I made a coloring book a while ago in like 2021 and published it. I have two that are currently out and I'm working on revamping them and releasing two new ones here shortly, so stay tuned for that. But I figured I'm just going to color in this page that I drew and have a little chat with you guys while I do so about everything that's, been going on and everything and the plans going forward. So, first things first, why I stopped posting and everything was Teardrop. She passed away quite suddenly. Got home from work one night. She was perfectly fine, same as she always is. Very happy, very playful kitten, the usual. And the next morning I took Zero outside to go to the bathroom, and when I came back in, she was laying there lethargic, just, not really responding. Like something was very obviously wrong from whatever happened overnight, So I got a hold of the vet, had a conversation about what I need to watch for and everything, and the first opening that they could get me in was in like an hour or two, right? We as in me and the vet team, well, not the vet team, I don't know what I'm saying, it's just, so I bring her to the vet. The vet tech takes a look at her and everything, and I don't know, it was like we got there and she just got worse. And while we were in the room, and I, like, you know how when you wait a couple minutes for the actual vet to come in the middle of that, she fully, like, fainted and went limp in my arms and was not responding. So I called back the vet. They rushed in, got her all set up, got her what we thought was stabilized. They told me they were going to hold her overnight, try to figure out what was wrong, and like bring her back to health and everything. And so I go to work. About an hour into work, the vet lets me know that she didn't make it. And they didn't know what was going on or like what caused it. They just know that, like, they did everything they could, and things like that just happen sometimes, and it is what it is. And yeah, so that was very emotional for me. So I kind of just stopped. Well, not really filming. I was still filming at that point, but I just kind of stopped editing and all the other extra things to get all the behind the scenes admin stuff done. And yeah, and then from there it just seemed like one thing after another of like life happening. Yeah, I mean, that's life. Life doesn't stop. It just goes on and on and on and on. But yeah, then a little while later, my best friend found a cat, and so I am taking care of her. Her name is Gabby, and she very much kind of just needed like rescued in a home right then and there. So I brought her in. She's absolutely gorgeous and lovely, very, very cuddly, but she's pretty shy, which fair enough. But the more we get to know each other and the more we can do, like, build that bond of trust, it's very nice just to have her around, which is great. And it also helps Fafnir with his medical issues. And then about 3 weeks ago now. So I have a couple chronic illnesses and autism and like disabilities, which I know and I like work on and work to not have take over my life, which is a big privilege. I also understand there's a lot of people that are disabled that it just takes over their whole life and they can't do anything. But I ended up back in the hospital, and that, if you haven't been through the American medical system, we need to do better. We just need to do better. And from the last time that I went through it, I kind of did push off going in for too long because just a lot of medical gaslighting and medical trauma and neglect that happens, and there's only so much that I myself can do. And don't get me wrong, I love research, I love finding out what's wrong with me and how to like do what I can within my abilities, because your abilities are your abilities. But I ended up fainting 2 to 3 times every day for 2.5 weeks, and then I fainted 10 times, went into the ER. The doctor that was there did not take me seriously, told me it's perfectly normal for me to be fainting 10 times in a day, and basically did nothing and sent me home. And then I just kept fainting more and more and more. I ended up fainting 14 times the next day. The day after, I went to the doctor that he told me to follow up with, and she's great. Absolutely love her as a doctor. But on my way out and checkout, I fainted again and got put back in the ER. And at first, the doctor that I originally got was absolutely amazing, did the test, did everything that, to try to like make sure that they can do what they can do. And then the shift changed and I got the same doctor from before. And little side backstory, I now have a partner, a romantic partner, and he was there with me, and I am so glad that he was for this. But he again dismissed me, told me that I was basically making everything up and overreacting, that this is all normal and everything. So I stood up and advocated for myself, and I didn't stand up and advocate to myself until he told me that I was having an attitude, and I was just listening to what he had to say and knew that he was just going to dismiss me again, but was just like, whatever. I have a doctor now that will listen to me, and I have a follow-up appointment set in a couple weeks to try to like figure it out. I'll just listen, agree, he'll discharge me, whatever, But when he told me I had an attitude, I just went and I just was like, screw it. Started advocating for myself and being like, hey, look, I'm not trying to have an attitude. I understand that the medical system is underfunded and understaffed for what we should have as like a standard. But you're a doctor. You're supposed to, at the very least, listen to my concerns of what is very real going on in my body. Especially when I didn't want to go to the ER, and I'm now here basically against my will, and you're telling me that, again, I shouldn't be here. When, especially this time, like, other doctors put me in here, So obviously something is wrong. So he walked out of the room, not even got two-stepped, and called me a very bad curse word twice that I definitely will get in trouble for saying on here. Very loud for everybody to hear. And my partner went and told him he would appreciate not using that language, and we made a hospital report and everything. Because I advocate for myself, he admitted me to the full hospital. And I was in there for 5 days. And they, other than that one doctor, every single other person that I interacted with, every doctor, everything, was the best care that I have ever received. They took me seriously. They ran a whole bunch of tests. They made sure that they covered all their bases. They got a whole bunch of answers. And if they didn't have answers, they had, like, I think it's this, let's get some testing for this to, like, make sure we can do it, you know, and I have appointments for those testings and stuff to try to, like, it's a chronic illness. It's going to be with me forever. But being able to have a proper diagnosis and proper, like, health things, like meds or whatever else that I need to be able to live my life is extremely helpful. So I go through all this, everything, and I'm getting answers, and now I have to, like, adjust everything in my life to accommodate it, which, fair enough, completely understandable. And I have doctor's notes, mind you, for every day that I've missed of work, and it's been 2-3 weeks now since then, and boss has removed me from the schedule, won't respond to me or tell me what's going on. No one's fired me, no one's talking to me, but I'm not working, and I'm cleared to be back at work, so that's a little annoying, is that on top of having to change my whole life around and come to terms with chronic conditions that will affect me for the rest of my life and will make it harder for me just to be able to do simple things that everybody else doesn't think about, you know? And to be fair, like, it's just a job, but it's still wrong. And yeah. So since I'm not working, and ultimately my dream is to make a living off of my art, make a living off of content creation and stuff like that, it's time to ramp it back up. I was hoping that I could keep my job for a couple years, grow this up so that I can focus more on the enjoyment of the process and the enjoyment of learning and making mistakes, and not have so much pressure on it for survival until it grows big enough that I don't have to concern about it. But that's not where we're at right now. So we're gonna go back to making vlogs and everything, and gotta look on the bright side. The bright side is that this is what I do want to be doing, so, you know, we're gonna move forward and do that. And I now have a very great support system that I've never had this kind of support system in my life ever before. So being able to just alleviate some of the stress of everything that's going on is absolutely just amazing. But like I said, with this coloring book and page and that we're coloring and all of that, like, I have 2 books that are currently out that I am revamping, and I'm going to take down and put out the new versions of them, because I very much have learned since 2021 when I had originally released them. They're still going to have the same, like, content and stuff, just tweaking them to be better. And then I have a new book, coloring book done that I just need to publish. And I have another one that I am almost done with, which I'm kind of excited about. So stay tuned for that. That'll be around, coming up soon. And I'm hoping that I can get my art stuff back up and running. When I was in the city, I sold my art as like stickers and prints and buttons and everything. And then I got, the original diagnosis of this, and life got in the way, and I ultimately have to prioritize my health over and like everything, which kind of sucks, but that's how life is. So I'm hoping now that with this support system that I have recently made, I can, with my support system, even when my health tanks, I'll be able to stay reliable and consistent and, still have my dreams, which I am very, very privileged to be able to have that kind of support system to fall back on and to be able to like plan around things and everything, which is absolutely amazing. So with that being said, stay tuned for all of that and to see my growth and my journey for that and everything. Well, I thought I would have more stuff than I actually did talk about to finish this, but I feel a little bit better coloring out my talking and, but stay tuned for all the new stuff to come. This is how far I got in this. And stay tuned for the updated version of this coloring book, along with the 3 others, which hopefully will come out in the next, I don't know, hopefully really soon. I'll let you know when it does come out, as I'm picking up doing all this again and vlogging and getting, more content out there. Have more brainstorming ideas of stuff. But I did want to, you gotta restart somewhere. And with everything that's been going on in the hiatus that I've been on, here we are. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Would appreciate comments, subscribe if you want to stick around and see more, but don't feel obligated to have to. I fully believe that my community will find me eventually. So, hopefully you're a part of it, and see you next time.